Hey, what's up, guys? You may have seen my recent video when I made the Wavy flag and I did the JTech laser test to do the stars. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little breakdown of how I do the Wavy flags. I don't have any video feed of me actually carving the waves, but I can tell you that I bought a angle grinder from Harbor Freight, Bauer brand. It was about 29 bucks, works like a charm. And then just the basic discs that would come with it. You could use this one right here, flap disc. All right, that's a 4.5 inch diameter and it's 40 grit, so you can use that one. They got all different kinds of discs, whatever works best for you. But kind of just wanted to give you a little video to show you the process that I take to make the Wavy flags. Check it out. All right, so first things first, if you're in your big box stores, there's an aisle where you can get these rounded boards. They're pretty cheap. They come in, I believe they're 4 or 6 foot lengths. I chop them down to 22 inches. The boards are already, essentially they're 12 inches, so it's really like 11.25. So, first thing I did after I chopped them was I just took a pencil out, kind of looked at the board. I wanted to try to leave the unions as close to flat as I could after doing the laser test. This way I can, if I wanted to put a logo in here or something like that, I wouldn't have to worry about the grooves. So I took my pencil and just kind of drew some lines where I wanted to carve. All right, you can see they're all kind of different. All right, this one kind of starts at the bottom of the union, and I got a groove that actually comes through the bottom here. All right, kind of all different. All right. After I get them carved, I sand them with my palm sander at 220 grit sandpaper, and I try to hit both sides of the groove. Gives it a nice kind of rounded look. And plus you're gonna be staining the wood, right? So you want the stain to not go into a groove and bleed into another area. So that's what I do for prep work, all right? After I get those done, wipe them off to get the dust off, obviously, and then I use frog tape, okay? Do not use the blue painter's tape. It's garbage for these projects, right? It's okay in your home for painting, but the frog tape is the best when you are staining wood. You can really get it to sit, it sticks well, and the stain does not bleed. As you can see on these unions, the lines are nice and straight, even in the grooves, right? They're good, there's no bleed. All right, so for these, I mark out 9 inches, draw a line with a pencil, well, 9 inches across, 6 inches down, okay? Tape that off, stain them blue, all right? After I'm done that, we move on to the next round of prep. Again, frog tape. What I do is I mark a little over 3/4 of an inch, and I mark a pencil line. And then I use a 1x3 that I got laying around the shop. And essentially what I do is, because this board's 3/4, I actually stay off about 1/8 of an inch, and I draw a pencil line straight across. Okay, we know that this stripe's gonna be red, this stripe's gonna be red, so I tape off the second stripe right at the line. All right, obviously you can't just stick it down because then your wave valleys are not going to sit well, right? So bring your tape across, get it in that valley real good. The painter's tape is a little longer or a little thicker. So I'll lay this board down on the line I made. You can see my pencil line back here. I'll lay that down and I'll use my X-Acto knife, chop it off, continue my way up the board until I have this, okay? Now obviously I'm working on 3 of these today, so I'm doing all the prep work. I want the tape to sit for a little while, okay? So I kind of just work my way down the grooves to make sure it's on there. You can use a nail, you could use a credit card, driver's license, whatever you want to use to work it in there, but the prep work's the most important, okay? So don't rush through it. Get your tape on there real good, okay? And I can see right here, I got a little piece that's sticking up. So I'm just gonna work that in there. Because when I go to stain that red, you know, I'm telling you, the frog tape is not going to let the stain bleed unless you didn't get it seated properly. So spend the time to get your tape set up. Go over it multiple times if you have to make sure that it's down. Once you know that it's down and you feel comfortable, then you can take your red stain out. Obviously when you're staining, you don't want to, I'll show you over here because I was doing the blue and you've probably seen in my other videos. I always use a sponge brush, okay? So I always use a piece of wood. You want to dab it down, okay? Essentially you're dabbing it and you're getting most of the stain off, okay? Then you can wipe it and you don't have a ton of it running off the edge of the sponge brush because, you know, obviously if you're pouring a giant amount into this piece of wood, you know, it might find a crack in the wood or something and bleed a little bit, but it's not going to bleed at the tape if your tape is seated. All right, so that's the process I take. And that's what you should look like after you're done staining it. Let it dry, peel up that tape, finish that flag off. And it works really well. And then obviously when it's done, I'm gonna still utilize the laser to do the stars or whatever else I wanna put in there. But I wanna see some wavy flags you guys make. So get to making. It's almost October. Gives you some opportunity to maybe work that technique if you don't do it that way. But this works extremely well. So, you know, you can check me out on Instagram, Facebook under the same name as my YouTube channel. So if you're making a wavy flag or you try this technique, feel free to shoot me a message, shoot me a picture. All right. I'd like to see them. Take it easy.